So I'm back with another DIY bodywork video, and in this video I am going to be focusing on the digestive system, doing part of it as it relates to foot reflexology. And as always, I'm featuring my publication, I Touch Myself and I Like It. And it is a DIY self-massage acupressure, reflexology, and Wealth-flex-ology journal recorder. And so I'm going to be working on my left foot because what I'm going to be demonstrating today as it relates to the digestive system, which there are multiple parts as it relates to the digestive system, but I'm just going to touch on a few. But I'm leveraging my left foot because the stomach is located on the left foot, and I want to be able to show you that today. But we're going to get started with working really in the mouth area. So I'm just going to show you here on my foot here. So right in this area, like we have the neck, and you can work on your neck as well, but right above that is the mouth. So the mouth is very important as it relates to the digestion because it's where the enzymes break down, your saliva, and even as I'm doing this now, I can already feel the stimulation, of that taking place. That may be too much information, but that is actually what's happening. So as you work this, it's going to be very beneficial in aiding in your digestion. So you just want to make, some circles. You can go clockwise or counterclockwise. It's really no wrong way to do it, or just, really rub, for the mouth area. And so also right in here is where the esophagus, your tracheal, or you're going to work on the esophagus here. So we want to start here, work all the way down and around to right here, and then work our way back up. So I'm just going to, just demonstrate that for you here. So you're going to feel like the bone area there, and you want to be pressing up against that as you are working down and around. So coming back to right here, working my way back up. Okay, so that's working the esophagus here. Your trachea area as well, but when you are kind of pressing up against the bone, as I mentioned, and you want to do that, I said that there's helping your esophagus tremendously. So we're going to come down to about right here, and where you see this line, it's under the diaphragm and solar plexus area. Right here is the stomach, and you only want to work the stomach in one direction. And it's interesting because the way the stomach kind of curves, just like if you look at your actual stomach, you will see that it comes about right here, and under the fourth toe, then you go down and it curves. So again, like your stomach has curvature, as well. So you just want to work, in that area. Be a little bit mindful how you work it, because you don't want to back your stomach up. That's why I said just work in one direction and then go down. This middle area right here, which I've demonstrated in another video, that's your pancreas. So we're not working the pancreas area, which is, more so in the endocrine system, which they all tie together. But we just want to focus right now really on sort of more of the upper digestion. Like I won't be getting into your intestines and the lower tract parts that do aid within the digestion. It's just interesting how the body is so connected. All these different systems, your urinary tract system, all these different systems sort of work together. So coming back here to the stomach. So yes, right here, right under the diaphragm. So you just work it in one direction here. Okay, so you just want to work that and then come down, make that curve, and then work it again. So I'm going to demonstrate that again. So you just work across till you get to your under your fourth toe, make a hook, and then come around in that curvature way. And so that's just basics of how you can work on your digestion, which is so important. It's one of my primary areas, and I have had my own health projects, I should say. I don't really like to give too much energy to health challenges, so to speak. But one of my health projects has definitely been in terms of the digestion and the central nervous system as it relates, to digestion. So I've had to do a lot of work on myself, in terms of that. So I'm just going to go over this again. So we worked, the mouth, this area, and then we, worked around into the esophagus, which, comes right down into the stomach. So we worked that, then we worked the stomach, and curved around. So you spend as little or as much time as you need to. As I always say, that you have to be present with your body and be in touch, in tune with your body to know what is too much, what is too little, and also too, if you need to see a physician, definitely do so. And I do encourage getting reflexology from a reflexologist for sure. But if you aren't able to do that, leveraging the DIY is extremely beneficial, extremely beneficial. And so I'm going to get ready to come over to the publication. I Touch Myself and I Like It. But it's interesting, I'm also feeling guided to work on my wealth factor as well. So before I actually do that, I want to come into the publication and just demonstrate for you, show you if I would be recording what I did today. So let me come over here. I always come to this section, the power of my touch, explore, experience, enhance. Again, this is the journal section. And so going to be looking at how you record and track this. So I touch myself by doing, so I would record that I worked on my upper digestive system, and I would just write down the areas that I worked on, and how I feel, how I felt, as I was doing that, and then what were my results or benefits after this process. And so what I'll be doing after this video is taking the time out to get present and do the actual recording around this and spend a little bit more time in those areas. But initially, what I will say is that as I was working on the digestion, one of the things I noticed right away when I was working in the mouth area, and I actually mentioned it, is that I could feel the stimulation and the juices, so to speak, starting to work. And being able to work on my esophagus was really a good thing, because I had been experiencing not necessarily acid reflux or anything, but I did have a little something going on. And so already just that little bit of work, I'm feeling some relief, and certainly looking forward to the continuation of the benefits from this. One of the things that I share pretty much in every video is that I typically get immediate results after doing the DIY body work, and then it just continues. It has this time release effect that I feel it, throughout the rest of the day, and sometimes, days after, for sure. And so over here is where I would expound, upon more of what was going on, just more notes. So now that I'm being guided to be present with the Wealth-flex-ology factor, I'm actually going to come back over to my foot here, and so I'm actually going to just work in the esophagus area a little bit more. So that's where the guidance, I'm being guided to, to work more in this area. And so as I am working, in this area, to press in a little bit more. Let me turn my foot here so I can press in here a little bit more up against that bone here. Like I said, touching into the trachea as well. So I'm being present on what the wealth factor is. And something that I just want to mention is that when you are doing the Wealth-flex-ology portion of of this process, you don't necessarily have to be actually doing any body work on yourself. It may be that you just get the wisdom in the insight, and within the publication it talks about the Wealth-flex-ology factor and how it relates to just our everyday life and well-being, and reflexology, and how in reflexology we're touching certain areas on the foot that are stimulating other areas, in the body for optimum function. And that's the same with our wealth and with our life as well. Sometimes we have to focus on another area, or touch, so to speak, another area, of life, and it can actually generate, holistic wealth is what I call it, because it's more than just about the money aspect. It's about, your health is your wealth. And so, being able to focus on that. So yes, I'm just coming around here. So yeah, so just being present. But as you are actually working, doing the body work, it's kind of a dual thing, that you are focusing on your health and well-being, but also insights for your financial flow can come as well. And again, just anything around wealth holistically, you'll get the insights. So as I've been being present here, the guidance for me is that I need to focus more on being in my life a little bit more, in which I'm very intentional about that with the Life-flexology aspect. But it's time for me to digest and assimilate a new way of living. So it's a higher call to the lifestyle aspect. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come over into the journal here and come to that section. So in that section, it's asking, I also worked on my Wealth-flexology and or areas such as. So as I was being present, as you've heard me speak, that going back to my, esophagus is, starts the process of going down into the digestive tract, is that I'm being guided now to focus more on being more in my life. And that is the Life-flexology aspect, which I have works around that. So basically, I'm being called to focus more on my Life-flexology work, which will also help improve or level up my own lifestyle agenda, and initiatives. And so I would be recording that, what were my results or outcomes. And so I would just jot down what came up for me, but then I would have to be present and allow more wisdom and insight, to come forth. And then from there, I could, create more notes and even possibly create a plan, even around what my next steps are going to be in terms of expanding that part of my life's work. Because for me, it all works together. It's all cohesive, life and business, or so it's all one into lifestyle entrepreneurship, so to speak. And but yeah, so I'm looking forward to expounding upon that and what the wealthy opportunities will be based on me embarking on that. So again, I always love to feature this particular work. I touch myself and I like it, and you can secure a copy on Amazon. Also within the description, there's going to be information how you actually can, secure a copy of this, and you'll learn about other platforms and other related videos. And so I just want to quickly go back over the foot again in terms of for the digestion. And we just really covered just three areas as it relates to reflexology with digestion. There's so much more, you know, around this, but I'm just really just showing you just the basics of what you can, you know, start to work on yourself. So again, we worked, you know, on the mouth, you know, area, and the esophagus, went into the trachea. We worked on these areas, and I spent more time, you know, here. And then, you know, we learned how to work the stomach and where it is underneath the diaphragm, the solar plexus area here, and how to work it in one direction under the fourth toe, and then curve around, and you come back kind of in a circle. But don't work in this area here, because that's the pancreas. And unless you're being intentional about doing you know, the work on the pancreas, just you know, try to just keep it where you're just working, like I said, the stomach in one direction, and then just, you know, just coming down. And that's just basic, just for, you know, just for getting started, because, you know, there are other great videos online that you can look at in terms of DIY and doing reflexology. And then if you're interested in reflexology, you know, as well, there's tons of information out there, you know, to learn about it. And also too, I certainly you know, can help in that area as well. But I just wanted to be able to provide this so that you can get started. Like I said, I'm an advocate for DIY. DIY bodywork has literally saved my life on at least 4 occasions, and I actually talk about it within this publication. Yeah, it's so game-changing that if it weren't for me actually learning how to do the body work on myself, I don't know that I would be here today to even be sharing this, you know, sharing this with you. And so I just highly advocate that you know, take time out to be present with your body and to get to know your body, and to really be in relationship with your body, and just learn how to be in touch and in tune, because you'd be surprised how much can open up to you and for you just by taking care of yourself in this way. Who would think that you could actually work on your wealth as you're working on your well-beingness in this area by simply being able to touch certain points, you know, on your foot. And there is the hand reflexology as well, and I'll be demonstrating that in other videos. But, you know, just starting off basic, and then also learning how you can be able to actually be a wealth generator from within by leveraging the Wealth-flex-ology aspect. So there's so much to this. So I hope this has been beneficial to you, and I also hope that you will digest and assimilate the newness that wants to come into your world. Again, that's something that I'm being called to do. And even though I do it, there's always another level. And so I'm looking forward to this next level of life-flexology and being able to divinely assimilate that which I am digesting, the new way of beingness in this area. So again, there's information within the description that you can learn more about me and what I do in the areas of wholeness-preneurship, wellness-preneurship, healing-preneurship. And yeah, so I'm always excited and delighted to be able to bring to you just these simple tools that you can use to improve your well-being. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Again, I hope this is beneficial, and let me know if this has been of value to you. Thank you.